welcome to something a little bit different. As you know, my primary focus on this channel is Star Wars MOCs, and even more specifically it's Star Wars The Clone Wars MOCs, or anything prequel related in that sense. But when I first saw images for the Ninjago City Garden set, two thoughts came into my head. The first was, wow, this set looks beautiful. The second was, ouch, it's not cheap. And whilst it probably is worth that amount of money, I just don't care enough about Ninjago. Because, like, don't forget, when you're buying a set, you're paying for the figures too. And I don't want the figures, and yes, of course, I could sell them off. But I don't know what the value is of Ninjago figures, particularly, as I'm not familiar with the source material. I don't think I've ever even seen a full episode of the show before. So I was then considering to perhaps part it out through Bricklink. And then I thought to myself, that would be cool, but what if I made it more Star Wars-y? With all three of the giant Ninjago City sets that have come out, a lot of people have compared them to the Coruscant underworld. And I thought, yeah, they kind of look like that, although there's certain architectural features that make them look more Eastern, and certain features that are just a bit too colourful and things like that. And just basic facts such as that it's all set on top of water and have loads of plants on them. And then I thought to myself, how about if I part out the set, but I change colours around and change very small features of it to create basically a modular series of the Coruscant underworld. And this is where I started to get really excited. Now obviously, Ninjago City Gardens is not actually been released yet, it's being released later this month. So I went back to the first two Ninjago City sets. First I looked towards the docks because it was much cheaper. I think it came with like 2,000 less pieces or something. But I'm not a particularly huge fan of that set. There isn't like a good center place to look at on it. So I thought maybe, I don't know. And then I went back to the original Ninjago City. So let's start with this one, and then we'll see, based off how this goes, we'll move on to the gardens and the docks. And that's what this video is going to be basically an announcement for. Well, not really, it's going to be more of part one of a series where I'm going to be building the Coruscant world by sort of transforming it from Ninjago City. And we're going to hope it's going to turn out okay. So yeah, sorry about this really long intro, but let's get into actually building some stuff. There's a reason this video is called part 1 instead of week 1. This isn't going to be a weekly thing, just as soon as I've got enough stuff to show to you, that's when I'll show it. So let's get into this. Okay, so first up here we have a base plate. This is a 32 by 32, it's not a base plate, it's basically two layers of plates. There's some green ones and some black ones on top. That's because right now I don't have a 32 by 32 base plate because they're under this feed, which I'm currently in the process of taking apart. So once feed's gone, I can take the base plate from that and put it under here properly. So that's why I don't want to get too much stuff done this week. But my first thing will be, on top of the base plate, is putting down a layer of black plate. That's purely because the Coruscant underworld doesn't really, well, I don't think we've ever actually seen the bottom of it. And as the Ninjago City is kind of like hovering over a lake, I kind of like the idea that the Coruscant is like hovering over just like an empty abyss. So I'm gonna have like basically just black, I'll put black tiles where there is the trans light blue tiles in the bottom. And I think that will end up looking quite good. So the first thing we're gonna do is put down tile anywhere that water was on the original set, and we'll see how that looks. Okay, so it might not look like much, but I have now just put down all of the black tiles in place of where there are translate blue ones in the set. And I think this does create the effect I wanted, where it does look like a really like dark, like, I think when the rest of the underworld area is on top of it, this will look lower. Will look like it's like, I want to try and get some kind of depth perspective type thing. But yeah, now we're going to try and work on the very basics of the buildings in the bottom level here. So let's try and get that together. Okay, so I got about 5 minutes into building the actual first layer of the Coruscant before I realised that this actually wasn't 32 by 32. I don't know why I never counted it, but it was actually 32 by 30. So I'm going to do a bit of more engineering work, making this just a little bit bigger to add 2 more plates on this side, and now they should fit. But it does now mean I need to rip out all of these tiles and move them 2 to the left. So that's going to suck. Okay, so it's been a long old time since I last filmed anything for this modular thing. And I've got a lot of work done. I don't know if you can tell, but I had to raise all of the black tiles up 1 plate due to a very oddly specific reason. But just know that I did have to do that, and that took ages. I've started working on this. I kind of like the design I have going along the bottom of this, and it goes in a similar way to all of those over there. Sorry for all the mess. It's just this is how I work. It's very messy. And now I'm actually starting to get the first few buildings down. I have the first one in here. I've gone for a dark blue and grey colour scheme. I know that in the actual Ninjago City, like the different layers are leveled with different like types of architecture to kind of like represent where that building came from in time. Like I knew the ones on the bottom floor are like older buildings, and then they go up to like the most modern ones at the top. Because all of Coruscant's quite futuristic, I'm just going to go for like the same kind of regular Star Wars style for all of it. Like the same futuristic town type thing. So you can see this as like these like fancy bits as architecture, and they're going to have like the same different colours all over. And I'm going to try and use a lot of stickers on this to try and make it more detailed, like the actual Ninjago City is got a ton of stickers on it. I've just taken this one to act as some kind of like poster graffiti. I believe that's from a Overwatch set, the big Roadhog one. It's that sticker there. I'll probably end up finding some use for these two as well. And yeah, I think for this one it's gonna be like, because Coruscant's known as the main Republic homeworld, I'm gonna take these stickers from the, what do you call it, the new AAT. I've got a couple of these sticker sheets because it's just got the Separatist logo on it, so I'm gonna find some place to put that down. So this can be like a mini Separatist like shack inside of Coruscant as like a little underground base type thing that's hidden, although it's going to have this logo on the front of it, probably around this side. I just think that's quite funny, and just out of this tiny area. And I was thinking maybe it could be like a droideka workshop or something, because the spaces in these rooms are really small, and I cannot get a lot into each of them. So I'm going to try my best for detailing inside of these. But we're going to move on to this area in the next one. And I think I'm just going to take after the set for this area. I believe it was like some kind of food market. And I think that makes sense to just recreate the general same thing here, but just changing up the colours. I think I'm going to go primarily dark red with this one. So let's have a look at that. I should really be filming more often for this thing. Anyway, we're still really messy, but I've made a lot more progress. I've basically finished up the first building, although I still need to put the Separatist sign on it somewhere. Like, I've got some details, I need to put some things in those clips as well. But that's like pretty much as happy as it can be with that one. And then I'm moving on to the second one. I'm going to keep it like some kind of market stall, but I'm just changing up the colours to... I think for this bottom section I'm just going to have every building accented with light bluish grey, and then having dark bluish grey is like the centre for the main like pathways and stuff. I know one of the big things I've got to come up with is the bridge, and I'm thinking about changing that design from the official set. As I said, anything that looks like too inspired by Ninjago, like, as you know, the Coruscant isn't as like Eastern inspired as the Ninjago City is, so all of those like fancy roof details and things I want to like kind of minimize slightly. And like this bridge was much more curved, and for one thing, those large arches have only ever come in one set in dark bluish grey, and that set cost 90 quid or something, and so I need 2 of them minimum. And then also, I think I'd rather have like these more like straight edges from the slope bricks than curved edges from these type of things, because like that's not a, yeah, that shape doesn't really work. Also, one of my favorite parts, well, not one of my favorite parts, but a part that I really liked from the original set was using these crowbars as this type of roof here. I didn't want to repeat the exact same thing for a couple of reasons. The main one being price. Those black roof bars are not cheap to get in quantity, and the cheapest quantity to get them in is just plain red, which I don't think would have really worked. Even like red and dark red don't... I don't want Coruscant to be too bright at the end of the day, because that's why I wanted to make it different than Ninjago City, so I've gone for more muted colours like dark red, dark blue and things like that. And I'll move on to like dark green, dark tan, all the dark colours. Yeah, so I've gone for this stickered slope piece from, I believe it was a, I never bought the set, I just bought the sticker sheet from it. But I believe it was a big resistance ship. There's a picture on the screen of it just now. And yeah, so I'm going to put some things in those stalls, and then I might change out this floor for something that isn't dark tan. And I still need to put some kind of... I'll probably will keep a phone on this wall, because I actually find it quite funny. And yeah, I've changed the design in this corner as well. In the set, there's like meant to be rocks here, and there's meant to be plants all over the bottom. To be clear, this white brick will be covered up in a second. But I've just gone for more slopes to make it look more... I kind of want it to look blocky for this section, because that's how kind of Coruscant is for most of the walkways and things like that. So I'm still quite happy with that. And then I've got a lot of work to do on this side. But we're going to finish up this side and finish up the bridge, and then that might just about be this part's progress. Okay then, so it's a little bit later on. Oh, just love to lose that focus. I've added a little watch your step sign onto this the side of this red building, purely because this is going to be right next to my bridge. As I said before, I didn't want to do like one of those big arched bridges, so I thought, why not try and think of a bridge that's a little bit more Star Wars-y. So I went with one of those like laser type bridges you see in Ryloth, I believe. And I think that gives it a nice like sci-fi looking look. Sci-fi looking look, what a sentence. Moving down, you've got Republic emblems on each side of the bridge, just to show that it's part of a Republic owned city. And then you can just take like figures, like this is the Kessel mine worker. You can put them on as if they're going over the bridge. I'm not going to put anyone on the bridge because they just fall off because there's no studs there. This was quite an intricate technique to get this down. As you can see, I've got like studs both going this way and going this way with these in between. That's because this one's connected to the left, this one's connected to the right, and this one's connected to the left again. I'm taking all the studs off. It's quite a fiddly little thing to put together, but it's I like the final result. So yeah, let's keep cracking at this. Okay, so it's the next day again, and I've made a little bit more progress, primarily with this little top building here. I've put on the Separatist logo now, so that will actually work for that sort of building over here. As I said before, the station is a complete and utter mess. So this is the kind of look we've got going on back here. This will be the side facing outwards. I think this circular area does still look a little bit, maybe a bit too much like Ninjago, but I kind of like the design of it, so I'm just going to keep it that way, I think. And we've got some masonry bricks and whatnot for some details around. And I like how I used the roller coaster piece here as like some bars for the window back there. On the inside, I've taken inspiration from the set, having like some kind of bed on the floor. Although I'm not entirely happy with how it's just like basically laying on the ground. And also I need to put a TV in this area in the actual set. But I think I'm probably gonna rip out that floor, or rip out the bed and put something else in this building. I'm not entirely sure yet. Let me know in the comments if you think I probably won't do it this episode, so let me know in the comments if you think there's something better I could put inside of here. And yeah, besides that, I've started to work on these side pillars. I know in the official set this is a very fancy design, which I don't have the pieces for right now, and I really don't want to spend too much on this MOC where I can help it. So I think I'm just going to use these pieces as the pillars, because they do look quite Star Warsy. And then this is meant to be like a tan, I believe it's like a crane part that like connects this section up to the next floor. There's two problems with that. One, I don't have any of those crane pieces and they're not cheap to get a hold of. And part two, they don't even come in dark grey. The one in the set was tan, and the only other like colours they come in are like reds and yellows and stuff. So I thought, let's just put it in this same dark bluish grey brick, because then it makes it look more uniform slightly. So yeah, now I need to just pop on this top layer and figure out something that can go inside of there as well. And there we have our final update for this part. As you can see, I've put on a second roof to the red building, and I inserted these things here, so there's like Republic signs on it. So it's like the Republic living directly next to the Separatists, which I think is quite funny. I like how this looks on both views, so I'm happy with it. I'm still completely unsure. I still need to furnish this room properly. I'm completely unsure on what I need to put in this room in terms of like details. This will be more visible, so it's gonna have to be a bit clearer what that is. And also, again, I need your help for what to put in there. Besides that, that's just about this part wrapped up, I believe. This section is another issue. In the actual set, there's a big elevator going the whole way up the Ninjago City on this side. I don't know if I'm a huge fan of that. It's okay, but I think I might improve it if instead of having the elevator, I cut that entirely and just put where it is, I just put more rooms to make the city look more full and more detailed. But the lift does have its own benefits. So if you think I should do the lift, let me know in the comments. If you think I should do rooms instead, also let me know in the comments. And let me know any ideas for what to put inside these rooms. But besides that, thank you so much for watching part 1 of turning Ninjago City into Coruscant. I really enjoyed making it, and hopefully whenever part 2 comes out, which should be soon, not next week, but I'll say within the month, or within a month from now, it'll come out. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video and you like this idea, like the video, that's what the like button's there for. Comment your ideas for what to put inside these and whether I should do the lift or some rooms. And subscribe so you don't miss the next part. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.